Welcome to Evolve, Reinventing Leadership, Building Freedom Cultures, with thought leader and award-winning author Yvette Bethel. This podcast provides you with insights and ideas you can use to reinvent your culture through trust and the principles of interconnectivity, flow, and balance. At a time when the world is rewriting the rules of work, traditional leadership practices are not enough. It's time to perceive persistent challenges through a new lens. It's time to evolve.
Welcome again to Evolve. I am Yvette Bethel, and in this episode, we will explore the differences between communication and information and how to build an information infrastructure. To some people, communication and information can be used interchangeably. They are definitely connected, but they are different. Communication refers to the transmission of a message. Information refers to facts, details, and opinions about a person, place, or thing. Information is what is transmitted through communication channels. Information can be accurate or inaccurate. It can be necessary for the work or not. And it can be interesting or not very interesting at all. The possibilities are endless. Within the workplace, information is necessary to complete various duties, and so it needs to be accessible, clear, accurate, and sometimes private. It can show up in conversations, manuals, and technological systems. Communication channels facilitate the movement of information up and down an organization, laterally and otherwise. Information should move in tandem with the workflows so that it arrives at its destination when it's needed. Many companies develop internal communication strategies because they understand the links between information, communication, performance, and results. For example, when decisions are not communicated in a timely manner, bottlenecks can happen. Another example of the links between communication and information happens when there's a challenge in a particular workflow and the key persons responsible for the flow are not speaking to each other, even though their work is interconnected. Formal information is official information that flows through various channels. It can show up in the form of policies and procedures. It can originate with clients, or it can be transmitted through emails or the internet. Informal information flows through informal channels like the grapevine, social media, or a conversation in the hallway. Opinions can flow as informal information, so it's important to substantiate your information because some people have an exceptional skill for presenting information as opinions or instead of information as facts. Now, when companies create internal communication strategies to ensure information is moving through the organization adequately, it's important for infrastructural designers to determine what information is critical to the organization's operations so they can ensure it's accessible. And for information that's non-static, they can ensure it travels through the appropriate channels at a pace that is compatible with inherent workflows and cycles. For example, employees and their managers need to accumulate the information required for populating performance appraisals based on the performance management cycle. If employees don't receive scheduled feedback, this can impact their performance. How can they make changes if no one gives them the information they need to course correct? The next step is to ensure the right channels of communication are being used for different types of information. For example, companies should not use unsecure social media apps to share confidential information or data. Instead, they should use communication modalities that people are most likely to read, watch, or listen to in a secure environment. When we come back, we will explore 9 components of an effective information strategy.
Organizational Soul is a mission-driven organization and network where we specialize in trust in academia, families, and organizations. We are building a community of leaders who are interested in trust and culture. If you are interested in our updates, you can sign up for our newsletter at orgsoul.com. As a thank you for joining our community, you can access our free resources that are designed to help you build your brand as a trusted leader as you contribute to safe space. Sign up now at orgsoul.com.
This is Yvette Bethel, and welcome back to Evolve. As promised, here are the 9 components of effective information strategies. Number 1, an information strategy identifies information deficits and addresses them. Number 2, it considers what employees need to know and when they need to know it, treating information as an important resource. Number 3, the strategy is built with the knowledge that information is always changing. It also accommodates exceptions when necessary and blockages that impact information flows. Number 4, information is important enough to have owners assigned to the different types of information. In this way, someone is responsible for updates, dissemination, and deletions. Number 5, there should be continuous improvement of the quality of communication channels, policies, information availability, etc. Number 6, ensure employees are not receiving so much information that important information is buried in volumes of irrelevant messages or emails. For example, some companies use instant messaging to communicate. They end up with a situation where employees receive so many pings that they start to ignore the messages. Information overload is just as information overload is just as ineffective as sharing no information at all. Number 7, there should be clear guidelines regarding which communication modes should be used to transmit information. For example, unsecure platforms should be used wisely. Even though instant messaging can be used to facilitate more efficient communication, it should be treated as an informal communication channel, and a formal channel like an email should be used at the end of the process to communicate the end result. In this way, all the essential information is in one place, not buried in multiple simultaneous IM messages that people waste time sifting through. Number 8, one form of information is data. In addition to the company's internal data privacy and protection standards, many companies also have to consider data privacy and protection laws that define national standards. Ensure your information strategy is in compliance at this level as well. Number 9, take the time to get the messaging right for the different stakeholder groups. Each group needs different levels of information depending on the complexity of their responsibilities or their investment in the organization. As you can see, information and communication are inextricably linked, and when leaders interweave them strategically, they can transform cultures, engagement levels, and ultimately results. This has been Yvette Bethel, and you can contact me at www.orgsoul.com or at Yvette Bethel on LinkedIn. With that, I'd like to say thank you for joining me for this episode, and I invite you to join me next time at Evolve, Reinventing Leadership, Building Freedom Cultures.
Thank you for listening to Evolve, Reinventing Leadership, Building Freedom Cultures. Learn more about our proprietary trust, leadership, and culture courses and certifications at the IFB Academy. You can check them out at organizationalsoul.learnworlds.com.